Hi, I'm Mark William, and today on DND, we're going to take a look at my personal favorite top 5 level 1/4 monsters.
Let's get right to it.
Alright, number 5. I had to put goblins on this top 5.
Yes, they are overused. Yes, they're in basically every campaign. Yes, everyone knows about them.
However, they are one of the, I'd say, more balanced first creatures for players to engage with. And my second point of why I have to put them on is because I'm tired of the goofy goblin, we kill them, they're weak, they're like tricksters type of, I feel like direction goblins have went in. I want to return them more to a more evil, malevolent, hard, savage goblin. So I like to give them extra abilities every time. I boost them in some way, maybe give them poison damage or something like that, because players have gotten too
Cocky.
over the goblin. So that's why I have to put it on, but only at number 5. Number 4. Zombies. Classic undead creatures. My favorite thing about the zombie is the whole, it can be knocked unconscious, but make a saving throw to come back with 1 hit point, basically. So players think they kill them, but they have a chance to roll and come back with 1 hit point, which can be a real slog for players who maybe find themselves
Down a cramped corridor with zombies.
So in my Journey to the Infernal Plane, for example, that was a cool feature. I used them to remind players of maybe people they lost in the past. So they also have some cool thematic flavor anytime I use them. So number 4, zombies. Number 3, the flying sword. My favorite feature about the flying sword is that there's a magic component to it, and also, much like Awakened Trees or Awakened Shrubs, this has a false appearance where it looks like it is just a normal sword. It's the perfect trap or defense mechanism that players might see before they find that treasure chest full of all the goodies. So in that way, Flying Sword is a perfect level 1/4 creature, or one of my favorites. And that's why it's number 3. Number 2, Drow. Just the Drow race. I suppose this is a bias from my past days of collecting a Dark Elf army in Warhammer, and I was always attracted to that darker, eviler, more like misguided elf race that has been wronged. It always seems like there's some sort of vengeance aspect to them. So Drow, to me, they were one of the main adversaries in my first homebrew campaign I made. I just couldn't help it. And it does lead to some cool Underdark monsters you can use, such as Driders, which are very related to the Drow, and Utyugs, don't know how to say that, but those crazy creatures. I like using the Drow to pull in those other Underdark creatures. So that's why. Definitely number 2, want to use them more in the future.
And finally, number 1, my favorite 1/4 challenge rating monster.
Are wolves. If you saw my first mini talk, I did feature wolves as the main basically stat block that I went over. But wolves to me are just too cool. I love using them in the games. I always try and find ways to use them. And if I've used them as my first encounter in my homebrew campaign, as a DM, so it just has that nostalgic feel. I use wolves, and they're just one of my favorite creatures. And I'm sure as we go on with these top 5s, you might see different types of wolves on here, and I'm not ashamed of that, and it's probably going to happen, so I'm warning everybody now. But the wolf is just, I think, a good, again, balanced encounter. They can be used in so many ways. They're, to me, part of fantasy. So many fantasy stories involve sort of that wolf and the wolf packs. And so they had to be my number 1. No surprise for anyone who knows me, probably. And I encourage anyone to get your own wolf pack. Put it in the game. All right, that's it for the top 5 this week. Next week, looking at the 1/2 creatures, and that will bring us close to level 1. I know these have been a lot of small monsters and so forth, however, got to start somewhere. So we'll be looking at the half level monster types next week, or my personal top 5, I should say. So make sure that you leave your own list in the comments below, and we will see you next time. So remember, all D&D, all day long, all night till dawn.